Hi everybody, my name's Laura Scott. I'm from Adaptivate, and today I'm here with Srima McQuillan, and we're talking about change and how it can be bucketed into three key areas and what companies are thinking about. So Srima, I'd love to talk to you about people, process and tech, and how that is, or how change wraps around that, and get your opinion on and what you've seen over the years.
Absolutely. I've worked in a lot of roles throughout my career, everything from support roles to frontline roles. And what I've noticed is when these changes are brought in and assume that this is just a people change, or this is just a system change, or this is just a policy change, that they don't often work, because you actually realize that's the ecosystem of how a business operates. It's people, process, and systems. That golden triangle has been around since the 50s. And that's your operating model. So I give an example of how this might look. I was once told, let's empower our teams. Let's give them what they need to innovate. So we looked at the delegation of authority. All companies have them. Who can do what and when, and approve things and spend. And we looked at specifically the approval of money. And we said, 2-level approval, no matter what. So we had this big edict. So that was what we told all the people. But when you actually looked at all the policies, not one reflected that. So the people were told, go innovate, you're empowered, and now this is how we're going to make decisions. But nothing else in the company reflected that. So the innovation couldn't happen because the policies still were written very differently, didn't have that idea in mind, and the systems had been in there forever. So in that one case, for someone to go out to lunch, they need 6 approvals. So here was this concept of breaking it down and building a great culture, but everything behind it wasn't working. So if you don't really look at what you're trying to achieve in your whole ecosystem, you can't really achieve it.
And is there one that comes before the other? So I'm talking to a lot of companies at the moment where they're going through change, and they're going through a tech change, but a tech change will mean a people change, which will mean a process change. And there's lots of questions around, well, which one do I do first? So we're taking the view on, well, you actually need to do them all together. And you need a really rock star team to surround you. Would you say you need to do them all together, or do you have an opinion there?
Well, I think it starts at the beginning, which is the clarity of what you're doing. Why are you doing this? What are you trying to achieve? And then looking across your ecosystem. How is that going to impact your people? How is that going to impact your systems? How is that going to impact your processes? And I think when you look at those impacts and the goals, you can figure out the right place to start. Where is the burning fire? So if you're developing software, you got to start developing the software pretty soon. But then you've got to start the other ones in parallel, because otherwise change happens to people and not with people.
Love it.
So absolutely, you cannot, whatever you turn a blind eye to will be your next, area of concern. So just think about it that way. So as long as you're parallel processing everything, I think you're going to be much more successful.
Brilliant.